way, and again believing that living labs are the ones. Again, this is out of my Finnish slide pack, but the idea is this is traditional innovation funnel, so that a lot of ideas never get into market, but some are guided through the market, where basic research, RDI activities, you need still test bedding, really still need the laboratories testing them, and then the user-driven part of including users in living labs, and then having research funding and venture capital in order to create the services. But maybe this is the only interesting part for you, is that we have now seen tremendous capability of public procurement for innovation. In Finland and Sweden, we have discussed with the ministry and taken this initiative to the parliament that why not to reserve 3 to 7% of all public budget for innovation. So we know that if the public transportation or our healthcare system doesn't function, we cannot change them if we have a procurement law that everybody has to buy most cheapest solution. So allowing big parts of this procurement money going into things that we could do better. And we took this even to the Commissioner of Competition in Europe, that if we do it in an area where we still don't have a market, so then we can procure, we can buy those solutions from any innovative company, because it is pre-market conditions, so we are not distorting the competitive rights of companies or individuals. So this is very important thing, again, that we allow that huge resource to be used for innovation. US has used that in a massive scale, and I'm sometimes calling that US is actually the birthplace of living labs and using public procurement for innovation, but sadly in an area of military industry. The amount of value created in fighting different wars with latest technology is definitely creating tremendous advantage for US military industry. I mean, accurate bombing, all those radars, all those, not necessarily even in the area of war-related technologies, but then spin-out technologies out of the war technology. So I'm sometimes saying that the first living labs are the Iraqs and the Grenadines and the places where big superpowers are testing their technologies in war-like conditions. So again, we have to use those resources in a new innovative way for public good and public services. So that's kind of a, and we have these national initiatives. I'm a chairman of the Finnish initiative to select some areas of creating a kind of a national beta culture, testing culture, that people feel that they like to do testing of new products and services, and not going really into all the details. This is the Dutch case where we do the Dutch testing. The Dutch, in Holland, they looked some of the areas where they wanted to start the living lab from the health-based applications first in the Health Valley, and some other areas. I won't go into the details. So living labbing is definitely not a solution for all areas of innovation. So one has to be critical where you use it. And this is the Arabia Ranta model of we don't anymore talk about triple helix model. We talk about quadruple helix model, or in Finland we call it the fourth round of innovation, where we create environments for developers, utilizers, enablers, and users in a real context. Again, we have interesting websites to see how this functions in Finland, but again, not maybe next time going into the details how we do them. But universities having very central role, and university incubation, small companies coming out of universities, doing their first service concepts and then becoming independent SMEs out from the living labs. I think I'll I'll go through the last very quickly. We have this one strong area of linking villages into living labs, so reaching the innovation from populated city environments to rural areas. Again, very interesting cases in South Africa, in coastal areas of Spain, in rural areas of Hungary, and in archipelago in Turku. Very basic ideas. Again, in Turku, the challenge is that people live in small islands. So, I mean, everybody has to go into school. I mean, islands which populate only 20 people. So you're constantly in need of collaboration and collaborative tools in order to be efficiently living in. And so, what are the kind of ideas to change the kind of whole system of kind of ecosystem, from very simple things like the mayor of a local community should not only be a mayor, he could be a mayor, teacher, doctor, and a pharmacist, warehouse person. So creating multiple rows of people in order to manage kind of the new way of life, maintaining their traditional life, that they can still live in their dear islands and give education to their people. So enabling with technology that. One of the interesting things from this archipelago living lab was we took, because we have a law in Finland and in most countries that when you change a law and so the kind of or binding decisions of a communal decision-making process, you have to have a physical meeting. I mean, people have to meet physically and sign whatever things that they decide to do. So we said that this is all too expensive for this type of archipelago community. So we changed the model that we created a collaborative environment where the city council meetings were held in a virtual mode. And we had a problem that the Finnish law did not allow those decisions in the virtual meetings to have a legal base. So we went to the parliament and we changed the national law that it's possible. But the lawmaker, of course, said that it has to meet some requirements. Very kind of simple requirements, that the camera which captures the city councils in each room has to capture all the time everyone, so that we can record if somebody leaves the room to the toilet. So that we can guarantee by the recording that everybody was present and most likely understood the decision. So these type of very simple things had to be proven so that the law was changed in order to change the. So this was also putting the reality there, creating the solution with the people, and then going to the parliament and requiring a change of law. So some of the very interesting things, which are very particular to some parts of extreme areas of the Hungarian case was also interesting. We provided this open source Niitamo platform for the villagers to start working on supply chain from a agricultural farm to the food factory with this type of device. They could immediately order and send their goods into the food factory in kind of a virtual mode. Quickly on this open Nokia things, we have our own Nokia beta labs where we promote living labbing among our own. But then we have the lablets. We have 7 university environments where we have put up an open environment in university campus to promote living labs. And this is more of Nokia stuff. Again, you will have these slides. It gets into more detail why Nokia is interested on it. Again, this is a lot of the corporate landmark, how we see ourselves with Intel now on MeeGo, developing our open innovation systems. But this is something I'm sure you're not that interested. I mean, we have now created a kind of a new mobile device which has a sensor which can kind of sense the impurities of air quality, for example. It's one of the tools that, I mean, we have created an environment where